Hello everyone and welcome back to my studio. I'm Kara of Lady Fox Stitches. I'm a long arm quilter located in northern Nevada. Today I have some customer quilts to share with you. I'll give you all the details about them and I'll share with you a couple of my projects. So let's jump right in. The first quilt today is Bats and Booze, and this is a fat quarter shop pattern and it's free. It was a quilt along they did in, I think it was 2021, so it's a little bit older of a pattern, but it's super cute. You're gonna love it, and you can go onto Fat Quarter Shop's website and download the different instructions and the setting arrangement and all that. I'll make sure to link to it in the description box, so check that out. But I'll show you this one. A customer of mine made this. Look how cute. I actually really love it. I think it's a great Halloween quilt with these bats in the corner, the pumpkins, kind of medallion style, right? It's a square quilt. It measures 54 by 54, and I'm pretty sure my customer added this extra wide border. She kind of added that. She took the star here that was in the pumpkins. You can see the pumpkin, the center of the pumpkin there. And she did that in the black and white and added it in these corners to kind of add that little interest. So pretty cute. And check out the backing. These little ghosts. Isn't that cute? I love it. Also, I found out that this print, let's see if I can find it. This one right here in the bat here, it's got the little flying ghosts here. This one, this print glows in the dark. So once it's charged with light, and you turn out the lights, these little ghosts glow. Little potion bottles, super cute. That was a fun little thing to discover. The batting in this one is Quilter's Dream 80-20. So just a nice little mix, a nice blended batting. The pantograph that I put on this is called Open Fancy 3. And it's kind of got these swirls, but it's like spindly. It just made me think Halloween when I thought about the combination between, the pattern and then this pantograph. So let me hold it up. You can really see it pretty well on the border. Let me hold that up for you. Can you see that? So it's these swirls, quite dimensional. And I used I used glide thread in linen on this. So it kind of matches the cream background. Yeah, you can see it all over. Let me hold up the center part for you. See that pantograph? Just swirls around. You can see it on the backing too, a little bit, because of the contrast in thread. I thought it was perfect. It's not a Halloween themed pantograph, but it really goes well with the overall quilt. So I think that's pretty great. Yeah, so really well done. I'm excited. It's that time of year when we really want to sew Halloween and fall and think about kind of the holidays coming up here in the next few months. So pretty fun quilt. It's going to make a really nice wall hanging or something. I think that's just really beautiful. The second quilt I have to share with you today is from Arlene. She has made this quilt pattern several times, and I've quilted for her. But this one is in blues. These beautiful laundry basket fabrics, laundry basket fabrics, and it's called Sewing Bird is the line. Edna Sitar's fabric. You see that? So this pattern is called Peanut Butter, and it's a Then Came June pattern, and it's free. So you can check that out. I'm wondering if it uses charm squares. I'm sure you could use charm squares for all these. I'm sure that's what this is. Isn't that cute? A pretty simple pattern, but really, really effective. Really gorgeous. Let me show you the backing. This is one of the fabrics in the line. Sewing bird. This creamy background. These botanical prints with the birds. And I think there's like moths or butterflies or something too. Let's see. There's, oh yeah, here's one right here. Right there. Isn't that pretty? Super gorgeous. So this is a baby quilt, and the size is about 42 by 43, or sorry, 42 by 53. I used glide thread in the color linen. That's such a great thread color choice. It matches so many things, and it looks really beautiful, just blends really nicely with the fabrics. The pantograph is quite a popular pantograph among longarm quilters. It's called Moulin Rouge, and it's beautiful, like feathers and swirls and pearls. And it's just this really nice pantograph that just works on so many things. I shrunk it down and made it pretty dense. That's what Arlene wanted. She wanted a dense quilting. So I'll hold it up here so you can really study that. Now that I think I have it upside down, but that's okay. You can see the swirls. Yeah, in fact, let me flip it. All right, there we go. So you can see the swirls, kind of those feathers, little pearls. Really, really nice. I'll make sure to link to this pattern in the description box, so check that out. You can make one of your own. The batting in this one, she asked for the Quilter's Dream Cotton Supreme, and this is their thickest loft. So you can see that it has quite a nice, dense, like sturdy, structured quilt here. But it quilts up so beautiful. And when this gets washed, I'm assuming it'll get washed, it will crinkle up and be so beautiful. So, in fact, I have a quilt that's my own quilt that has been quilted with using this batting. Let me go grab it and I'll show you, because it's been washed several times, and I'll show you just how wonderful this batting can be. Okay, I am back with this quilt. This is Ruby Star. This quilt pattern was based on Ruby Star Society's Perfect Picnic Quilt pattern, and that is free as well, and I can link to that in the description box. But that's what this pattern, that's the pattern I used when I made this. So this quilt here has been washed quite a few times, and it's got that Quilter's Dream Cotton Supreme. So it is a heavy, thick quilt, and I tell you what, it is awesome. It is so cozy and comfortable to like curl up with, take a nap. It lays on the ground really nicely, like it lays flat. It spreads out. It's just got that heaviness, and so it really just has such great structure, but it's not so heavy that it doesn't bend. So like I said, once it's been washed, especially, you can really see the drape is quite a bit softer than the unwashed stuff. But it's just a picnic plaid type quilt. But oh my goodness, it's heavy and thick and so cozy. It's perfect napping quilt, especially in cooler climates or cooler times of the year. I just used fabrics that I had in my stash when I made this. I was trying to make do, and down at the bottom, I think it's down here somewhere. Anyway, I had to kind of mix up the fabrics a little bit because I didn't have enough of the different ones, but that's okay. Let me show you the backing just for fun, because like I've said before, I piece most of my backings. So here's the top of it, fun picnic, and then down here at the bottom, I pieced it with the different red fabrics to finish it off. So pretty cute. Let me show you the binding. This was a fun wide striped fabric that I found, and put that on there, the blue, light blue and the dark blue. I thought that was a cute little combination. So one more time, I'll hold it up. Pretty cute. So pretty fun, great pattern. I highly recommend everyone make one. Again, these are like simple patterns, just squares, easy to make, quick to finish, but very satisfying. Oh, I love this quilt. So beautiful. Okay, one more customer quilt to share with you. This one is Plaidish Quilt 2. And this is a kitchen table quilting pattern. It's free as well, so I'll link to this pattern. I think it's actually a tutorial, but I'll link to it so that you can find it if you want to make one for yourselves. And I know that my customer said in her notes to me that this quilt was made using scraps from her last few quilts and then added a little Tula pink. So scraps she already had and turned it into this amazing quilt. So I'm going to hold it up for you. This is such a fun, bright, happy one. Nice Plaidish quilt. The cross where the fabrics kind of have that illusion where they're crossing is where the dark fabrics are, and then the bigger squares are where the lighter fabrics are. So it's a little bit opposite, I think, of what the Plaidish quilt is. Again, like I said, this is Plaidish 2. Let me bring it in and I'll show you the pantograph. This is called Magic Meltaway. It's a lot like Berners, except it's more like archways, arch-shaped. So cute. Did it quite dense. The batting in this one is 100% cotton, but it's in the Quilter's Dream, the select level, which is the medium width or thickness batting. And it has quite a bit more drape. It's very soft. This is going to wash up, again, really beautiful. It's going to have a little bit of a crinkle because it's cotton. Most of them crinkle up similarly. I think bamboo has the least amount of crinkle when you wash it. It also, with the bamboo batting, the quilting doesn't pop out quite as much as it does on some of these other battings, but it just depends on what you want. Again, bamboo is very, very soft. So let me show you the backing. It's the Tula pink, like true colors. This is a wide backing. It's very silky. See the little sparrows on there? Little tossed sparrows and the big teal, I guess you call it aqua. I don't know, whatever color that is. Minty colored polka dots. Beautiful. I love it so much. So pretty. Okay, let me bring it in and see if I can show you the thread color, because the thread color on this is called Mint Julep, and this is a glide thread. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a green tint. It matches these polka dots. Maybe you can see it on the back. Oh, strings everywhere. Yeah, it's a minty color. Beautiful thread. I thought it was fun. It just adds a little something to the top without being just, white or cream, without it overshadowing the quilt itself. I don't love to use threads that kind of distract from the quilt, unless that's the look you're going for, right? But it can add just this texture or this level of interest, and I think that's what this does. It's very, very subtle, very mild. Most people probably won't even notice, but I do think it adds a little something. So very fun. This quilt, the size, I have it written down here, 68 by 84. So it's decent sized. And let me hold it up one more time. So you can see how fun. These bright, happy colors that Arlene is using are so beautiful, and they're so happy. It's just a pleasure to look at, pleasure to work with. So that's very fun. She'll be getting these back shortly. All right, next up I want to show you my Oxbow Tote that I was able to get finished. I made it this time in the regular size. Here's the cover of the pattern, Oxbow Tote. You can see one's a little bit larger than the other, and I had already made the large size. I wanted to make the smaller size. This pattern is a noodle head pattern, so I'll make sure to link to that. So here is my newest Oxbow Tote. So fun. So it's made out of a lightweight canvas, the pocket, and then the base. They're all a lightweight canvas. I did choose to wax the pocket fabric and the base fabric. So I took a combination of beeswax and paraffin, melted it down, brushed it on, melted it into the fabric, and it just adds some stiffness, some durability, especially on the base. I think that's a really great technique. And you can buy waxed canvas already waxed, but I wanted to try making my own, and so I did, because I had black canvas on hand already and just needed it to be waxed. So let me walk you through this. So it has this cute pocket on this side. You can see in there maybe. And the walls of the bag are quilted. I used flex foam to get that puffy look, and I just quilted it with straight lines on my domestic machine. I just lengthened the stitch length to just about a 3 on my Juki, and it quilted up beautifully. As you can see, I did this kind of cross weave, just straight lines every 2 inches or so. The other side does not have a pocket. You can see just the webbing here, the handles. Just used a black webbing. Cute little zipper with metal teeth. And it just opens like that. The zipper has a little tab on the end. And I'll show you the inside. So it's lined. This fabric here is just a regular quilting cotton, and it's an Anna Maria fabric that I found that I thought coordinated pretty good. It has like a couple side pockets there. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. It's the perfect tote. This time when I made it, I cut the webbing correctly, so the handles are the length that the pattern calls for. On my original one, which I'll show you to compare, I cut the webbing wrong, and I was so mad, but you can see how much shorter the handles are on this compared to this. So yeah, I cut them wrong on this one. This one's the right way, and it works really good. So I made this bag so that I could carry some books with me to my early morning Bible study class. And I chose not to add any D-rings here on the sides for like a shoulder strap. I just left that out completely. This one, you can see where those D-rings are. And it has a long strap, but I never use a shoulder strap. I just prefer to carry my bags with the handles. So I don't know if you can see the difference in size here a little bit. This one's quite a bit bigger, and then this perfect size one. It's perfect for my use. It's such a great pattern. It's actually not tricky to make it. I would say start to finish 4 to 5 hours for me. And I mean, this is only the second time I've ever made it. I think if you made them very often, or multiples of them, you get way faster. That includes like the quilting, the cutting out, all of it. It just flew by when I was making it. I just enjoyed every step, top stitching and pressing and cutting and quilting, and I just made sure to take my time, and enjoy the process. And again, I did make it on my Juki, which sews this kind of stuff up like a dream. Just nice straight stitch, sturdy little thing. It's great. So I'm really pleased with that and excited that I have a finished tote to carry my books in. All right, I've ordered some fabric to go for a back or to use. I've ordered some fabric to use as a background for my Twinkle Stars quilt. I'm calling it the teeny tiny little stars I'm going to make using Ruby Star Society Selvage Magic fabrics. And so I'm waiting for that to come before I can really start and jump into that much. I'm really excited. I got it's hot pink polka dotted, and I think that'll be really cute in the background for what I have in my mind. So I'm waiting for that, and I haven't been able to start anything on that. But I was digging through some of my fabrics in the closet that I bought actually last fall, and I came across a couple of these layer cakes that I had forgotten, sort of, you know, they're there, I can see them. So when I went looking, I was like, oh yeah. I bought these layer cakes last year. It's Three Sisters, and it's lavender filled. That's what this pack is, and it's all the like purples. They were so pretty when I saw them, or they are so pretty, but I really wanted them. So I bought 2 in the purple, or the lavender, and then I also have 2 in the meadow greens. So it's the same prints, just in these yummy greens, from lights to darks. So I've got 2 of these as well. So I've got these layer cakes, and I am now officially looking for a pattern that I can use making them. So I haven't decided what that's going to be yet, but I plan to just look through my Google Drive where I store all my digital patterns. I personally prefer digital patterns to paper patterns, and that's mostly because of the storage. I don't want to have to take up a lot of space storing paper patterns, which I do have paper patterns, so I do have a drawer dedicated to those patterns, but it would just fill up and fill up. There's so many great patterns out there that I have and that I've purchased over the years, and it just works for me to keep them in my Google Drive where I can store them and flip through them there. I oftentimes will kind of slurp them into Notability or something like that on my iPad, where I can take notes digitally on them as I use them. So I don't usually print them out, but I do use them digitally. And again, I can take notes on them if I use Notability or an app like that. So anyway, I'll go through my patterns and see what I can come up with that I want to use my layer cakes here for. And I had in my stash, I have 4.5 yards of this fabric that I found a while back on clearance. No, well, I shouldn't say it was clearance. It was a discounted. But this fabric, it says on the selvage that it's a poppy cotton. It's Nature Sings by Lori Woods. And the date on it says 2023. So it's a few years old, but it's this nice lavender, right, with these fall florals. I think it's really pretty, and I actually think it'll work for a backing for these 2 fabrics. I think we can put it on the back of whatever it is I choose to make. So I have everything I need to make a quilt. So I think I'm just going to use what I have and find a pattern that works for me and do a little fall sewing, because we start to get in the mood for sewing fall-ish things this time of year. So I'm excited for that, waiting for some fabric to arrive so I can get started on my little stars project that's going to probably take me 5 years, but I am looking forward to doing that. So I'm just loving sewing and quilting and can't wait to turn the machine back on. You can see there's a quilt loaded on my long arm. It's getting there. It's not quite finished. It's about halfway, maybe a little over halfway. And I'll share with you that quilt on the next video. But until then, make sure you keep sewing and quilting and all of that good stuff. If you need long arm quilting services, go ahead and check out my website. That's ladyfoxstitches.com, and give me a follow on Instagram or Facebook, wherever you kind of are. so you can see some of the projects that I post and different things. That'd be great. We could be social media friends. I'd love it if you could like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you leave a comment if you have any questions or even ideas for what I could do with these prints, with these layer cakes. I would love to hear your ideas for a quilt using those. So until next time, I will sign off and say goodbye. We'll see you next time.